fight for Tyrell. Very surprised since I've gotten here in Reno to find Tyrell in what appears to be the midst of a crisis in his confidence. He seemed generally rattled by Jeff Sims. One, his reputation as a puncher, and two, the fact that Sims has been spending overtime with a demeanor that can only be described as wacky in an attempt to intimidate Tyrell Biggs, and I think he's succeeded.
We have talked about the punching power of Sims. Is there more for Tyrell to worry about above and beyond that?
I don't think Tyrell Biggs has anything to worry about except his own worrying. Yes, Sims is a tremendous puncher with the right hand, but in other aspects, he's really just a novice. He doesn't have terrific stamina, tends to tire very easily. He's fighting here at altitude, 4,700 feet, has not acclimated himself to that. And I really don't think he has anything that he can't handle in there, but if he's afraid, that fear will debilitate him and rob him of his own stamina, and he's in for a long afternoon. Sims can be very, very dangerous as a right-handed puncher.
Okay, we should get some clues as to Tyrell's frame of mind early in the fight. Let's take a look now at the tail of the tape. And keep in mind, these are big heavyweights. Biggs is almost 6 feet 5 inches tall. You see the comparative weights there, very close, both above 210. The reach advantage for Biggs is an advantage only if he is strong and resolute with the jab. If he is lazy with the left jab, as he has been at some times in the past, then the reach advantage will not mean anything at all. There is a good look at Jeff Sims, fights out of Miami, Florida, and Tyrell Biggs goes in with him as they start off in round one.
And I think a very, very important round one. If Tyrell can handle Sims in this first round, not get hit, not get rattled, I think it'll go a long way toward restoring that confidence in himself that he has been lacking in the days before the fight.
Nevada rules, scoring by 3 judges on the 10-point must system, standing 8 count and mandatory 8 count, both in effect, along with the 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell except in the final round. The third man in the ring is the referee, Jay Nady, from here in Reno.
There you see the defensive liabilities of Jeff Sims. He's been eating several of the jabs from Tyrell, not all of them. Tyrell moving, not taking any chances.
And thus far, the left jab does look pretty stiff.
Stiff enough so that Sims hasn't thrown a punch yet. Remember in the interview, Jeff Sims told us that he was going to jump right on Tyrell. I think that might have been his best tactic, to try to shake him right away. But he hasn't done that. He's letting Tyrell get his rhythm.
And his confidence, you would suspect, because if this pattern continues, Tyrell should begin to feel more at home than he might have felt coming into the fight.
Still no punching from Sims.
No need so far for Tyrell Biggs to do anything but throw the left jab. He is keeping Sims far away from him and scoring well.
You see one habit Tyrell has, which he'll have to correct when he steps up in class, and that is bringing his jab back very, very low. When he gets in with a better fighter, he'll get that left jab countered right over it.
2 good punches to the body by Biggs when Sims stepped inside. Sims with a looping right. Did no significant damage in that inside exchange.
And most importantly, Tyrell fired back. Was not intimidated by Sims' first punches of the fight. If Tyrell continues to fight like this and Sims fights as little as he is, Tyrell will simply run up a points victory or maybe stop Sims late because Jeff has always tired late.
Looking awkward as he tries to step in and score to the body. This round has belonged to Tyrell Biggs, primarily on the use of the left jab.
Yeah, but Tyrell just made what could be a big mistake in the later rounds. He got on the ropes and just laid there, and if Sims had wanted, he could have taken some free shots.
Good left by Biggs. We'll be back. We are back. Round 2 in Reno, Nevada. Scheduled 10-round heavyweight fight between Tyrell Biggs and Jeff Sims. Round 1, in case you have just joined us, belonged to Tyrell Biggs, who established the left jab.
And comes out here in round 2 looking much more offensive-minded. Looks like he's looking to throw the right hand instead of just working with the jab. From Jeff Sims' point of view, He may have come in here determined to pace himself so he didn't tire as he has traditionally done. I think that was a big tactical mistake.
And the direct contradiction to what he told us 2 days ago would be his fight plan.
What Sims should do is try to jump right on Tyrell Biggs while he still can punch and try to land one of those punches that he does have tremendous power with. The left hook he just felt there was missed in the right hand.
It remains a fight so far dominated by the effectiveness of Tyrell Biggs' jab. On the few occasions when the two have been in close with each other, Biggs has acquitted himself quite well.
Good body punch by Jeff Sims. A good right hand, a solid right hand to the body, a low blow. Since Teofilo Stevenson broke Tyrell's rib, there always has been the reputation, he has had the bad rap, that he doesn't like it to the body. He took good body punches from Tillis, and he comes out here for some serious body punches from Jeff Sims, smiling. Whether that's false bravado or not, we'll see.
I think it might have been. I think he was bothered just a little bit.
Sims thinks so too. He's going right back downstairs.
Another right hand shot to the ribs by Sims. And now Biggs is not smiling at all.
And you see how he is holding his arms now. He's very cognizant of those body punches. He's looking to block them more. Holding his right hand down near his right side.
And Sims spots that and tries to go upstairs with the right. Now he goes back to the body. So Jeff Sims is becoming considerably more offensive-minded now as we pass the midpoint of round 2.
Now we have a fight. Sims is in another low blow by Sims, and still no.
There's a low blow. Now there's a warning from the referee. Vehement warning to get those punches up. There were 3 low blows in a row.
At least. Sims will continue to throw him until the referee tells him not to.
Sims tries to load up on the right hand and just misses. Biggs probably still leading, but it's closer. We'll be back. We are back as Jeff Sims and Tyrell Biggs meet in the middle for the beginning of round 3. Round 1 belonged to Tyrell Biggs. In round 2, Sims began to come on the strength of a couple of vicious body shots. Another low blow. And that is a point subtracted now from Jeff Sims.
No, it was not. He said next one, he'll take a point away.
All right, next one.
I think this is now a contest of stamina. Both fighters came back in round 2 a little bit tired. We spoke at the top of the show about the altitude here in Reno. Biggs has had 2 weeks to acclimate himself. Sims only 3 days. That does make a difference.
This is much more the Jeff Sims we had been told by him to expect before the fight, as he now has Biggs backing up on a regular basis. Tyrell is throwing the jab less frequently, though now he starts to come back with it. Not as stiff as it was in round 1, though.
Well, but the reason it's not as stiff is because Tyrell has to move more because of Sims putting pressure on him and backing him up.
That bordered on being another low blow. Jay Nady let it go. Sims, as you can see, mostly paused with the jab.
Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up! Bring it up!
You see Sims' limited skills. He really doesn't know how to work his way in behind a jab to get a position to throw his punches. All he can do is get in there and wing. He just has that raw, natural power. Sometimes it's enough.
Tried to load up on the right hand and just missed.
And he is tiring out Tyrell Biggs. Tyrell Biggs right now is dead tired. And maybe overreacting by saying dead tired. He is right now thinking about it. He's got 7 more rounds. The rest of this round is 7 more. And he's going to be looking pretty soon for a second win.
The fluid is dripping from his mouth. there is a look of concern on his face as Sims stalks him around the ring.
Both fighters breathing very heavily.
Round 3 of an increasingly competitive fight. Tyrell Biggs against Jeff Sims. We'll be back in Reno after this. All right, we're back in round 4 in Reno, and between rounds there was a fascinating conversation in Tyrell Biggs' corner. The ring doctor watched Biggs very carefully as Lou Duba and George Benton worked with him. Referee Jay Nady was also watching, and at one point Alex Wallow, he said, "I can't move my arm." Which arm do you believe it is?
It's the right arm. He's not throwing it. I thought he was using it to protect against the body shots. He's hurt his right arm. He's a one-arm fighter. He's got a long way to go. And if Jeff Sims is in condition, Jeff Sims could be in a position to win this fight.
You can see very graphically exactly what Alex is talking about as Tyrell Biggs holds the right arm stationary. There is manager Lou Duba screaming instructions from the corner. Duba said insistently to the doctor between rounds 3 times, "He's all right, Doc, he's all right." That does not really appear to be the case.
The way he's holding it, Jim, I think it may be the shoulder rather than the arm or the hand.
You wonder whether Sims suspects the problem yet. Up until this moment, he had not put as much pressure on Biggs in this round as he did in round 3.
You just saw him lean in, draw the left hand, but he had nothing to counter with. He just couldn't let the right hand go.
We want to alert our local stations along the line that coming up at the end of this round, we will be taking a station break.
And you just saw Tyrell Biggs with one hand, the left. He just threw the right for the first time in about 3 rounds, but with the left jab and a left hook, hurt Jeff Sims. Major questions about Tyrell Biggs' heart are going to be answered here. He has 2 things going for him. One is the fact that Sims is not putting tremendous pressure on him. And 2 is the fact that Sims does tire badly himself.
This is remarkable, though. Tyrell is fighting with one arm and has given a pretty good account of himself in this round. Tries the uppercut.
You saw him react with the right hand just enough to knock away that left hook.
There are abrasions on Biggs' face. He's beginning to redden around the eyes and the nose.
If you're Jeff Sims, you have to be thinking about throwing the left hook because even if you miss with it, you hit Biggs on a shoulder that is injured.
All right, we come to the end of round 4 of an increasingly interesting fight. We'll be back after this word from our local station. We are back live in Reno, and the suspense increases between rounds. 2 doctors carefully oversaw the activities in Tyrell Biggs' corner. One of them began asking Lou Duba, "Is his right arm hurt?" Duba denied that the arm was hurt. George Benton was whispering in Biggs' ear to keep his mouth shut and not to say anything about it that the doctors could hear. Meanwhile, Tyrell continues to try to fight a one-arm fight against Jeff Sims.
Obvious his arm is hurt. The question is, can he fight with one arm? He's not helpless. Obviously, I thought he won the last round. As long as he's not taking unnecessary punishment, as long as he's able to defend himself, the doctor should let the fight go on. You see a little abrasion, the abrasion on the left eye. They tried to put the end swell on it between rounds, but it may pop open. Sims trying to sharpshoot at it.
Throwing the left with increasing frequency, as you suggested that he would.
Well, I think he should throw the power punch, the left hook. Just got to be able to work his way in, and Jeff Sims isn't a good enough fighter to know how to get that range, to get in within range, short enough to throw the left hook.
In case you've just joined us, I'm Jim Lapley with Alex Wallow. We are live in Reno, Nevada. Scheduled 10-round heavyweight fight between Olympic super heavyweight gold medalist Tyrell Biggs and the very dangerous, hard-punching Jeff Sims. We are in round 5, and sometime in round 2 or 3, Tyrell Biggs damaged his right arm. to such an extent that he has not thrown a punch with the right arm, with the exception of perhaps one occasion in the last 2 rounds.
Another low blow by Sims. I do think the shoulder may be out, Jim. Up in the shoulder area more than the arm. Sims not busy enough, not taking advantage of the fact that he is in with a one-arm fighter.
Again, we remind you we are at altitude above 4,000 feet. Jeff Sims, as Alex Waller has pointed out, has a history of tiring in the later rounds.
Jeff Sims is now bleeding from his mouth. All of those jabs have cut Sims inside his mouth.
Biggs is doing a good job with the jab.
Once again, Sims not having
another right hand.
Sims not having the range to land the hook. And Tyrell having good enough defensive abilities to get out of the way of it. He threw the right again, and it hurt. Look at his face. That was a trip. If he stepped on his foot, he may call it a knockdown. Clearly what happened there was Jeff Sims stepped on Tyrell Biggs. Well, they didn't call it a knockdown.
We are going to stay now between rounds. We have just finished the 5th round. We're halfway through the fight. Let's listen to Tyrell Biggs.
You're making a great fight out.
Look out.
You hear what I'm saying to you?
I got you. Take care of
Keep that going. Keep that jab going and keep it missing. You understand? No problem, man. Now you can beat this guy with one hand.
He's okay. No problem, Doc. No problem.
He's okay. He's not getting hit. He's not getting hurt.
No.
He ain't no pain, Doc.
He's okay. He's okay, Doc. No problem, Doc.
Keep that left hand.
Doc, he's okay. No pain. He's all right. No problem.
Keep that jab going.
Give me the water. Where's the water?
Water. Damn, right here, Jeff. You're going to hit him anywhere in the money, okay? Go for the shoulders, okay? Drop your right hand to the body. Come back with your left hook. You're going to take this guy out of there. One. Okay? Okay, Jeff. Take this guy out of there. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up.
All right, you heard the sales job by Lou Duvon, the doctor. And Biggs comes back out to start round 6.
At the halfway point, if you're scoring the fight, I have Tyrell Biggs pitching a shutout. I just think he's landed more punches.
I've got it 4-1. I gave the 3rd round to Sims. But I don't think there's any question that Biggs leads in the fight to this point. He is regaining increasing confidence in the left jab, with which he dominated round 1. The crowd is responding favorably. They know that Tyrell Biggs is demonstrating some heart and some courage here.
I happen to think he's also demonstrating a bad tactic right here. A lot of that movement is empty movement. I'm not saying he should stand in front of Jeff Sims and let Sims sharpshoot. But all of this bouncing is very tiring to a man who's in his first 10-round fight. He doesn't have to move that much to land that left jab. A lot of this is unnecessary showboating, and it's tiring. Meanwhile, he's tattooing Sims.
Look at how low Tyrell is holding the left hand. Below his waist.
If you're wondering why Jeff Sims just doesn't go after Tyrell Biggs throwing punches, there are 2 answers, really. One is movement, like you just saw right there. Every time he throws a heavy punch and Biggs isn't there to hit, it makes him stop punching. And number 2, he just is not a well-conditioned fighter. He's never had stamina. Good right hand by Sims. Good right hand by Sims to the body of Biggs. And that hurt Tyrell Biggs.
He's not dancing now. The left almost scored on the face. Tyrell comes back with the left.
Tyrell showing you every punch you can throw with the left hand. The hook, the uppercut, and the jab. But you see how tired he is from that effort he put out in the first half of the round.
And Sims lands the left right on the point of the chin. Tyrell fights back.
you with one hand tied behind my back. Tyrell Biggs is proving right here he could beat Jeff Sims with one hand totally useless.
We are coming to the end of round 6 in what is thus far a courageous and impressive performance by Tyrell Biggs. Live in round 7 in Reno, Nevada, Jeff Sims comes out of his corner to face Tyrell Biggs, who, depending on how you're scoring, has won 5, 6, or 5 or perhaps even 6 rounds so far in this fight, despite fighting most of it with his right arm virtually clamped to the side of his body. Alex Wallow suggesting, and I think quite accurately, that the shoulder has been damaged in some way. Tyrell on a few occasions has thrown the right hand, but for the most part, he's been fighting a one-handed fight and scoring heavily to lead Jeff Sims. Sims is a very dangerous puncher, however.
In the last round, Tyrell's the right side was so bad that he couldn't even hold it up the last half of the round. At least he's got it up by his chin right now. Jeff Sims, once again, is just staying too much on the outside. He should be stepping in, stepping up, getting close to Biggs, getting in range to throw his punches. Instead, he's staying on the outside trying to win a jabbing contest.
Tyrell's left eye is starting to close up, so there's a big mouth under Biggs' left eye, and it may be beginning to affect his vision.
And, of course, the left eye is the one that's absolutely crucial to him because the right side, he's not using that side anyway.
He'll have to turn to a more open stance to see with the right eye if the left one closes.
Which decreases his effectiveness with the left.
Which is, at this point, the only punch he has. There's a good look at Biggs' eye. Watching there, another of Tyrell Biggs' Olympic teammates, Evander Holyfield, now campaigning as a cruiserweight and already ranked in the top 10. Will be appearing here on ABC's Budweiser Professional Boxing in 2 weeks against Ricky Parkin.
And you saw the concern on Evander Holyfield's face. Those 1984 U.S. team was very much a team, and they really do pull for each other in their professional careers.
And Biggs was one of the leaders of the group. Intelligent young man, grew up in Philadelphia. His father used to take him to fights when he was a boy. He was a basketball player, became a boxing fan, and then a boxer.
This is a little bit more the style I think Biggs should employ. Not the bouncing at the beginning of the last round. Just a little bit of movement. Just enough to confuse Sims, to not allow him to plant his feet and let his hands go. He just has to keep it up.
One of the slowest rounds in the fight so far. Jeff Sims trying to apply more pressure to an increasingly physically damaged Tyrell Biggs, who still leads the fight. We are back live. Round 8 begins in Reno, Nevada. Again, the doctors stood and oversaw the activity in Tyrell Biggs' corner between rounds. Again, no action was taken, and none at this point would appear necessary. Biggs is holding on quite well.
Whatever the outcome of this fight, Tyrell Biggs has demonstrated to the doubters that he does have heart, that he has the heart necessary to go on in this division and be competitive. He has fought a hard-punching opponent with one arm and conducted himself very, very well. He could have quit. He might have even tried at one moment in the early rounds to tell his corner, but they wouldn't let him. And they told him that they believed in him, and he believes in himself enough to be out there really dominating the fight. Fascinating that it's happened at a point when you suggested that Tyrell might be undergoing a crisis of confidence against Sims, who is a wacky personality. A little bit wild and unpredictable. Tried to pick a fight with Leon Spinks after a press conference here the other day. There is a cultural difference. Biggs grew up in a relatively settled environment in Philadelphia. Sims is the product of a migrant labor background from one of the poorest towns in the USA, Belle Glade, Florida. Spent some time in prison. Incidentally, stick with us at the end of Budweiser Professional Boxing. Coming up next on ABC's Wide World of Sports, dirt bikes and road racing's best from the Superbikers from Carlsbad, California, plus the breathtaking International Toboggan Cresta Championship from San Moritz, Switzerland. All next on ABC's Wide World of Sports. You're exactly right, Jim, that it is interesting that he is showing this kind of heart, this kind of courage, this kind of stamina in a fight which he came into undergoing, as we described, a crisis in confidence, a lack of belief in himself and his own abilities. And if he comes through this all right, and if he heals properly, I think it'll be a turning point fight for him. Doesn't mean that he'll go in a straight line or sense of the heavyweight championship of the world, but every little bit increases his ability to stand in there and believe in himself and know that he can do the job.
Well, certainly the victory over Tillis was a big step forward. This will be a step forward of a different sort if he's able to pull it off. Sims has him against the ropes now, but is not able to land the big punch. Sims does not appear to have the zip in the body punches, which he had in rounds 3 and 4 when he hurt Tyrell to the body. Pawing right hand by Biggs. You can see that it has no snap whatsoever.
Tyrell stopped jabbing for a moment there. Sims was able to land a couple of punches. Now he remembered, got back into it.
Chances are that Tyrell piled up a big enough lead in the first 6 rounds that he may be able to have already won the fight if he can hold on. There are 2 more rounds to go. We'll be back. We're back in round 9 in Reno. What have so far been an exciting fight between Tyrell Biggs and Jeff Sims. Big pep talk in the corner between rounds. Lou Duva and George Benton telling Tyrell Biggs that he was beautiful, that he was showing a lot, that he needed to hold on, keep throwing the jab. Another of Biggs' Olympic teammates sitting next to Evander Holyfield, lightweight Meldrick Taylor. He has been pulling hard for Tyrell during the fight. Meldrick already becoming a force in the lightweight division himself, as has his other teammate, Pernell Whitaker. There's Evander Holyfield next to Taylor. You see Taylor barking out some instructions. Tyrell can't hear him. Good left. Sims misses.
The difference between the pep talks between this round and the earlier rounds is this time Lou Duva and George Benton believe what they were saying. He really is doing a beautiful, beautiful job. They weren't just looking to build up his confidence. They were telling him what the way it was. A pawing right hand. That is about as kind of a right hand as you'll ever see.
You really almost have to wince in pain when you see him try to throw that right. But the left is still there.
Biggest mistake Jeff Sims is making is staying on the outside. He should just walk in and make it a brawl. Go toe-to-toe with him. Put him on that shoulder. As callous as that may sound, that's what he should do to try to win the fight. And yet he's just standing on the outside.
There's a good look at Lou Duva, still trying to nurse Biggs through this experience. Hard to believe that Sims or anyone in his corner could believe that he is close enough in points to win a decision. The early rounds were mostly Tyrell Biggs. There he got him on the ropes for a moment, but Tyrell came off and smiled.
And also backed him up. I just can't tell you how much this is going to do for Tyrell Biggs' mind. The fact that he was able to lay there in the ropes, take some heavy punches, and then have the strength to back off an ox like Jeff Sims. When he looks at these films, I think he's going to be a much better professional fighter.
This is a man who was booed in winning an Olympic gold medal, perceived as being gutless and unaggressive. Either the fans were wrong or he's come a long, long way.
He has definitely come a long way.
He's going to make it to the end of round 9. There'll be 3 more minutes.
First time he's ever been in a round 9, and he looks like he is. He's going to be able to survive until round 10.
All right, when we come back, Tyrell Biggs will face a 10th round for the first time ever. We are back as Jeff Sims and Tyrell Biggs touch gloves to begin round 10. Between rounds, there was a huge pep rally in Tyrell Biggs' corner. Holyfield was up. Meldrick Taylor was up. They were shouting encouragement to what has so far today been an extremely courageous Tyrell Biggs. You can see that his left eye is now almost totally closed. You still see the right arm effectively pinned to the side of his body. We are told by the people in Biggs' corner that the shoulder was hurt at the end of round 2. But Jeff Sims has not been able to...
There was the right hand. He just threw a right hand. The pep talks are really unnecessary at this point. At the end of round 9, Tyrell Biggs threw his arms up in the air. He now believes. They don't have to tell him that. He now knows that he can stay in here even with one arm and fight a heavyweight like Jeff Sims.
Well, it was supposed to be a step forward. It's become a rite of passage. What an experience for Tyrell Biggs. Growing with confidence every moment now. He's got to be safe. He's got to stay away for the remaining time. The left jab is doing the job for him still. Tried to throw the right again. Now he's getting pinned against the rope.
But he stood nicely and tried to fight, which is exactly what he should do, and he's fighting back.
And he threw another right hand in that exchange. Maybe he's getting so excited now that it doesn't hurt quite as much.
I think you're exactly right.
Heavyweight fight, as you see there, the first one of Tyrell Biggs' career. He came in with 8 straight wins, 6 of them by knockout. Facing the hardest puncher he had yet faced, outside, of course, of the great Cuban amateur Teofilo Stevenson. Sims landed a left there. There's still time if Sims can get the right hand through.
I guess we should allow him such shows of bravado. He's proved himself.
He got an uppercut through on Sims's face there.
There's some people who say that all you need is a good left jab, and you could be in the top 10 of today's current crop of heavyweights. Tyrell Biggs has demonstrated with this fight perhaps that is true, and perhaps he does belong.
Still fighting back off the ropes. He made it. Tyrell Biggs has finished 10 rounds against a very dangerous puncher. 8 of those rounds spent with the right hand pinned to his body by an apparent shoulder injury, and unless I am badly mistaken, he has won this fight.
Like a jab you put out there. Nice goal. You fought like a jab. You goddamn right.
We'll be back with the decision and hopefully a chance to talk to the winning fighter right after this.
Judge Lillian Running Wolf scores it 97-93. Judge John McSwinney scores it 97-93. Judge Keith McDonald scores it 99-92. For the winner, and still undefeated, Tyrell Biggs.
Could not be more well-deserved in this observer's opinion. Jeff Sims may not like it. He was being relatively gracious there. Let's go to Alex Wallow in the ring.
Ty, first, when did you injure the shoulder?
I think I injured it in the second round.
Do you know what it is?
I don't know. First of all, I'd like to say my eyes are a little swollen. But first of all, I'd like to send my condolences to the Schuler family. Myself, George Benton, and Meldrick Taylor, and other Olympians want to extend our condolences to his family.
That's James Schuler, the middleweight contender who died in an accident last week. Tyrell, did you ever think about quitting?
Well, it was really discouraging because that's the first time something like that happened where, aside from having broken ribs, having something happen real weird to me. But then it wasn't that bad, and I got to bite down with this pen. I got this shine on my eye, and those things won't happen in boxing. But I had confidence in my conditioning, so therefore I figured I can go ahead and beat him with the jab like I did.
We talked at the beginning